Good evening and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. Critical national issues, especially security of lives and property, dominated discussions as President Muhammadu Buhari granted audience to the governors of Kogi and Imo states. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the Deputy Senate President and the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives also came calling.
Both the governor of Kogi State, Yahya Bello, and his Imo State counterpart, Hope Uzodinma, met the president behind closed doors. Discussions held behind closed doors centered on efforts at enhancing the security of lives and property in their respective states.
Kogi State, as at the time I assumed office, used to be the most dangerous, let me put it that way, crime state before. But as at today, by the special grace of God, Kogi State is the safest state as far as Nigeria is concerned. Mr. President was very pleased, or is very pleased, about our performance in the state, in the area of security, economy, infrastructural development, integration, peace and unity that are being enjoyed in Kogi State today.
I had a very quality audience with Mr. President, and I used the opportunity also to make some requests that will assist us in ensuring that the security situation in Imo State is stable and that the fight against banditry is also sustained so that people can go about their businesses without fear of any molestation. In the same manner, I also used the opportunity to request Mr. President to consider locating a power generating facility in Warri River, where we have been able to empty all the flood control system by balloon technology, and the tide has gone up, and because of the sufficient water in the river now, we can use that river to generate electricity to serve the entire Owerri metropolis.
Governor Hope Uzodinma in particular used the opportunity to allay fears in some quarters regarding the conduct of the forthcoming National Convention of the governing APC.
APC is not a mushroom party. APC is a giant. It's the largest party today in Africa. And that is the party that other small parties should copy. Because all small parties come to do zoning, do that and that. Their internal mechanism must not be the same thing with that of APC. We shouldn't worry about little issues. I think our focus and attention should be towards having a workable democracy in Nigeria like we have shown, supporting government policies and programs, and then being patriotic.
The Kogi State governor is more concerned about his presidential ambition, confirming, however, that the matter did not come up in his discussion with the president.
What is important now is the state of my state, the situation of my state, to give Mr. President that comfort of mind that as a governor I am handling effectively and managing my state to the best of my ability within the limited resources coupled with all the challenges. And what is important also is the stability of this country, and also to ensure that our party remains solid under President Muhammadu Buhari. Then thereafter, then we shall come on board to announce to the world what our ambitions are.
President Muhammadu Buhari also received in audience Deputy Senate President Ovie Omo Agege and the Deputy Speaker of the House, Ahmed Idris Wase. Details of their discussions, also held behind closed doors, were not disclosed. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has left Abuja to join other European leaders as well as heads of multilateral organizations. The 6th European Union African Summit in Brussels, Belgium. The president was seen off at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport by the Minister of the FCT and Women Affairs, Inspector General of Police, the Director General, Department of State Services and other senior government officials. During the summit, which begins on Thursday, participants will deliberate on financing for sustainable and inclusive growth, climate change and energy transition, digital and transport connectivity and infrastructure, as well as peace, security and governance. The Nigerian leader will use the opportunity of the meeting to have bilateral engagements with other world leaders. The president is accompanied on the trip by the Ministers of Foreign Affairs and Health, Minister of State for Environment, the National Security Advisor, and the Director General of the National Intelligence Agency. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo was in Monrovia, Liberia, where he represented President Muhammadu Buhari at the formal launch of the year-long commemoration of the country's bicentennial anniversary. The vice president, who joined other leaders across Africa and beyond to grace the event, was received by the vice president of Liberia, Jewel Taylor, and members of the Nigerian community. The vice president also attended other events in Monrovia as part of the Liberian national celebrations. Liberia was founded in 1822 when freed black people started relocating to West Africa from the United States on July 26, 1847. The country proclaimed its independence and became the Republic of Liberia. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo was accompanied on the trip by Minister of State Foreign Affairs Ambassador Zubairu Dada and Special Advisor to the President on Economic Matters, Dr. Adeyemi Dipeolu. The Vice President has since returned to the country. In another development, President Muhammadu Buhari has forwarded to the Senate the 2022 Appropriations Amendment proposal with a view to having a fiscal framework that will address the current realities. In a letter, President Buhari told the Senate that the amendment became necessary following the suspension of subsidy removal from Premium Motor Spirits (PMS) and to address the changes in the 2022 Appropriations Act by the National Assembly. The House of Representatives has received presidential requests seeking the establishment of a board for the National Security and Civil Defense Corps and some existing services. In the communication read by the Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, the President says the establishment of a board for the civil defense, correctional, federal fire, and immigration services will adequately reflect the current relationship between the board, the Corps, and the services. The board will equally ensure alignment of composition, structure, functions, and practices to attain intended mandates.
Of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, I forward herewith the Civil Defense, Correctional, Federal Fire and Immigration Service Board Bill 2022 for the kind consideration of the House of Representatives.
Meanwhile, the federal government has forwarded to the House of Representatives the 2022 Appropriation Amendments proposal. Now, let's also move on nationwide and tell you that INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu is meeting with resident electoral commissioners to ensure that no polling unit is without a voter. This becomes necessary in view of the experience in the FCT area council elections, where about 600 polling units were without voters, while others were over-congested.
In states, there are still congested polling units with between 0 and 50 voters, as we saw in some of the recent elections. Over the next few weeks, the Commission will intensify efforts to address the issue ahead of the forthcoming Ekiti and Osun governorship elections and ultimately the 2023 general election. We will review and improve the functionality of the BVAS for biometric accreditation of voters in the forthcoming by-elections and off-season governorship elections before the 2023 general election. The Commission remains convinced that the deployment of technology in our elections safeguards the integrity of the vote and provides a better guarantee for electoral credibility than the best manual process.
Lagos is our first stop on Nationwide, and Hingino is there with a report on the Nigerian Army and on unity in diversity. Let's join Hingino. It's over to you now.
Thank you, Ayodeji. 48.61% of private candidates who sat for the 2021 second series of West African Senior Schools Certificate Examination obtained 5 credits and above in a minimum of 5 subjects, including English and mathematics, an increase from 39.82% recorded in 2020. Head of the Nigeria National Office, WAEC, Patrick Aregan, made the announcement while briefing journalists in Lagos. Results for the second series of West African Senior School Certificate Examination for private candidates show 8.79% improvement in performance compared with 2020. Head of Nigeria National Office, Patrick Aregan, says 63.44% of candidates who sat for the examination obtained credit and above in a minimum of 5 subjects with or without English and mathematics.
A total of 131 candidates with varying degrees of special needs were registered for the examination.
Out of 52,973 registered candidates, 51,444 sat for the examination, and 96.38% of the number have their results fully processed and released, while 3.62% have few of their subjects being processed.
The results of 3,968 candidates, representing 7.71% of the total number of candidates that sat the examination, are being withheld in connection with various reported cases of examination malpractice. The cases are being investigated, and reports of the investigations will be presented to the appropriate committee of the Council for determination in due course.
Aregan also said candidates from schools in the Southeast who were not able to write some papers during the 2021 examination as a result of insecurity wrote pro bono with the private candidates. Now, the scarcity of fuel experienced by Lagosians will soon be a thing of the past. Annie Daniels is standing by to bring us details. Hello, Annie.
I'm here in Sabo area of Lagos, and here behind me, of course, you can see the beehive. People have come to get petrol. Let me talk one of them who just bought fully buying petrol. Hello, sir. Tell us about the petrol. Tell us about it. How is it?
Okay, it's been a bit fair because I didn't waste much time here buying fuel in my car, and they are still selling at the same price, which is 162 naira per liter.
So how petrol they get them to buy cost? Tell us.
No cost. Okay. Me every day if I come by for 16.2, I'll say they sell.
Yeah, but sure, they buy it plenty for you to buy.
I never plenty. But one day maybe you go get one plate where they sell. Sometimes one other side is very far, you go get them. On the other side, Panguru or Onupano or Imbo, I won't play with the sell.
We are selling at the moment, but we don't have much in our tank. It will soon finish now. But our escort is that the Mobi Apapa, so we will soon come with the products.
The other time I came, they moved 15 naira. Now it's like they're moving 17 naira.
From how much to how much? How much a liter? How much was it before?
I don't even know. I don't even. That's what I'm asking them. They don't even want to explain anything for us. They just do whatever they like.
Where we'll bring this fuel day before yesterday. We'll sell that day. We'll also sell yesterday. Then we'll sell today. We'll sell that very fuel and that the 2 pump we'll sell yesterday. So the only fuel, the fuel we have is for only these 2 pumps. That's why you see us selling this 2 pump.
I will get fuel now. About 2 vehicles in my front now. So definitely I will get fuel. I will wait.
This from here. I'm Annie Daniels in Lagos. Back now to Hingino for more on the news.
Thank you, Annie. Now to the army. Nigerians have been charged to do more in promoting unity in diversity, irrespective of ethnic groups, tribes, and religious differences, as this is key to moving the nation forward in all ramifications. This was the focal message of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, to the Combined West African Social Activities WASA put together by Nigerian Army Ordnance School in Ekpe, Lagos. Let's hear from Diana Ajali.
The Nigerian Army have continued to play a vital role in protecting the nation's territorial integrity and ensuring that safety of lives and property is guaranteed. While always on the field in pursuance of this huge core mandate, the Army is also active in promoting social activities with the aim of promoting peaceful coexistence as well as preserving the nation's rich cultural heritage in the barracks community. One of such is the annual West African Social Activities, WASA, a platform for officers and their families to interact and unwind after a long period of hard work.
One other thing that the WASA tries to bring together is the issue of, collaboration and integration amongst the host community, which goes further to foster, a good relationship.
Commandant Nigerian Army Ordnance School Ekpe, Major General Adeyemi Alabi, used the occasion to appeal to members of the community and Nigerians in general to support the military in working towards the restoration of peace and unity in Nigeria.
Nigeria is blessed with rich cultural diversities, and it shows that with unity we can move Nigeria forward.
We are in Central, and we need a very, very able security for this Ekpe. And since the soldiers has been in Ekpe, we enjoy them.
Being the first edition in Ordnance School Ekpe, soldiers and civilians who have distinguished themselves were recognized. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
That's it from here. We now take a break, but before then, don't forget that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on YouTube at NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page at NTA Network News, Twitter handle at NTA News Now, and on Instagram at NTA Network for updates.
Ancient city of Onitsha is a commercial hub with millions of commuters seamlessly linking other states daily for business, leisure, and other purposes. To upscale its road network, the construction of a 1.6-kilometer long second Niger bridge, including a 10.3-kilometer highway furnished with other infrastructure, has been in motion by the federal government. This project will ease congestion on the existing 56-year-old Onitsha bridge and boost the economic capacity of the state as it easily connects to other parts of the country. The completion of the world-class second Niger bridge Onitsha will be one of the many proud moments of the state, its people, Nigerians, and foreign investors. Onitsha, which hosts the largest market in Africa, is geared up to boast of an impressive road network. Once again, these moments are made alive by the federal government, and it is deserving of all the applause.
National Emergency Medical Services and Ambulance Response in Nigeria. That is our focus on NTA Tuesday Live this week. Tuesday Live, every week at 10:30 p.m. It promises to be incisive and educative. Don't miss it.
who are interested in gaining admission into NTA-TV College, Jos, for the 2021-2022 two-year National Innovation Diploma Program are to apply for admission through the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB. Courses available for application include film and television production, broadcast journalism, and television engineering technology. Such candidates must have a minimum of 5 O-level credits in relevant subjects, including English language and mathematics. For inquiries, please call 0803-079-5335 or 0806-980-9807. Management Announcer.
Youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth Entrepreneurship Support Years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths.
You're welcome back. Latest data by the National Bureau of Statistics shows that inflation declined marginally in January 2022 after demand pressure pushed prices in December 2021. Statistician General of the Federation, Simon Harry, who released the figures, is optimistic the numbers would sustain decline in the year. Correspondent Bossede Abel reports.
Inflation rate is one of the key macroeconomic variables like GDP, employment and unemployment exchange rates, among others. The first inflation data for the year 2022, which measured the price changes for goods and services, shows that consumer price index dropped marginally to 15.6% year-on-year from 15.63% recorded in December 2021, which is 0.87% higher.
On the state-by-state comparison, all items inflation on year-on-year basis was highest in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, with a figure of 18.59%, followed by Kogi, which had a figure of 18.28%, and Bauchi, 17.61%.
On a month-on-month basis, both urban and rural inflation recorded increases. Both inflation rose by 16.17% year-on-year in January. It was lower by 0.86 percentage points. On the other hand, rural inflation rate increased by 15.06% in January 2022, lower by 0.86 percentage points January 2022 inflation. The highest increases were recorded in prices of electricity, liquid fuel, wine, tobacco, spirit, solid fuels, cleaning, repair and hire of clothing, shoes and other footwear, other services not elsewhere classified, and pharmaceutical products. Bossede Abel, NT News.
Obehi is standing by with reports trending in our Benin Network Center. Over to you, Obehi.
Thank you, Ayodeji, and welcome to Benin. St. Peter's Unity Secondary School, Akure, is the winner of the federal government's Integrity Club competition for secondary schools in Ondo State. The National Orientation Agency, NOAA, organizer of the competition, aims catching the student young in fostering integrity in Nigeria. Tony Battery has details.
Out of 20 secondary schools selected for the competition in Ondo State, St. Peter's Unity Secondary School, Akure, outstandingly emerged winner. To encourage team spirit and patriotism among members of the Integrity Club, each school in the state was requested to do a 1-minute video in form of playlet, poem, or prose, which must center on the core values of national ethics and integrity policy to showcase the idea of a better Nigeria.
As one of our students who composed the Nigeria song was singing, we carry the Nigeria up, signifying that Nigeria, yes, as the future leaders, we are the ones who can carry the glory of Nigeria.
By the time they acted the play and they show it, it was then I now realized that it is a laudable program.
The Integrity Club competition, which is the maiden edition, is aimed, among others, to increase national ethics and integrity compliance among youth and project Nigerians as highly dependable, responsible and patriotic.
We are trying to let them know that they should have love for their country too. They should have passion for the country called Nigeria.
The Integrity Club competition, an initiative of the federal government through the National Orientation Agency in collaboration with the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, is expected to be a continuous one. In Akure, Toyin Batire, NT News.
The warning strike declared by ASU has taken effect at the University of Benin. We now join Joy Egbo, who has been there. Joy, what's the situation?
Normal academic activities are on hold, with some students seen at various points discussing the turn of events in what they term a sudden strike action.
Educational sector is something that should be taken into consideration because education is a great bedrock of our society. So I feel they should actually answer them because some of our lecturers, they actually made us see that this is something they are actually earning at the same rate they've been earning for 13 years. And what the economy of 13 years ago is not the same as now.
Lecturers are not being paid properly. And if lecturers are not paid, they will not be able to teach and will not be able to learn.
This is a very good time for them to go on strike, because I'm actually in support of it. Because if they don't go on strike, there's no way the government would find time to respond to them.
The union says the non-implementation of the MOA and MOU by the federal government is one of the reasons for the industrial action.
We know the effect that the incessant strikes have been having on our university, and we are saying that this thing, we want it to come to an end this time. We are hoping that the government will see reason and do what it needs to do.
This is the Faculty of Social Sciences, University of Benin. It is obvious that this environment is not ready for academic activities. It is the hope of these students and staff that ASU requests be granted for academic activities to return. In Benin, Joy Egbo, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. It's back to Ayodiji in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thanks, Obehi, in our Benin Network Center. Let's talk more about ASU strike, because today is the second day of the 4 weeks warning strike declared by the Academic Staff Union of Universities. And ASU president says the union is not going back until its decision on contending issues are resolved. Hingino John Adams reports.
Though the strike is still ongoing, ASU is still on deliberations through congresses. President of the union, Professor Emmanuel Osodeke, says members are not going back on their decision until their demands are met.
We will not give up the strike. Let Nigerian people take up the struggle and tell the government to invest, as recommended by the World Organization, that Nigerians should invest above 15% of their budget to education.
Professor Osodeke reiterated that the action is for the interest of tertiary education in Nigeria.
What we are doing for the sisters, I'm speaking to you, if 95% of the students in Nigerian universities today are still in the public school, less than 5% are in the private school because of our struggle. Anytime we let down the struggle, your children and the children of Nigeria who earn 30,000 will be pushed out of the school.
As events unfold, it is expected that all parties involved will come to an agreement. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
In a related development, conditions of service of university lecturers and revitalization of the university system to make them globally competitive are the recurring issues in the face-off between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities. Discussing the incessant ASUU strike on Good Morning Nigeria, the union says its current strike is to get governments to honor agreements made in relation to university funding. Ekemini Williams has the details.
Union of Universities on the 14th of February 2022 declared a one-month warning strike to press home its demands from the federal government. The public reaction is one of exasperation, but the union says its action is forced by the failure of federal government to honor the 2029 ASUU federal government agreement meant to resolve the old issues bedeviling the university system in Nigeria.
We agreed that the government will release 30 billion naira as a sign of commitment to implementing the 2009 agreement, which is released 220 billion naira on a daily basis. Although the 30 billion was as a sign of commitment, but the real issue had not been addressed. The issue of EAA, they said they would release 21 billion naira for as a sign that the EAA had been mainstreamed into the salary system in 2020, where in 2022, nothing was done in 2021. In 2022, it was done in the budget.
The university lecturers say TETFund, which is an ASUU initiative, is providing substantial support, but cannot provide all the funding for infrastructure and research in universities.
TETFund has nothing to do with hostels, for instance. TETFund has nothing to do with road infrastructure in the university. TETFund has nothing to do with recurrent expenditure like sanitation, all those issues. These are matters that government is supposed to provide apart from salaries.
We have laboratories in BUK that we can't furnish because some of the equipment the university cannot afford to buy.
The union wants increased government funding of universities in Nigeria in line with global best practices and enhance the quality of graduates coming out of public universities. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
Away from ASUU strike, the National Orientation Agency, in its campaign against fake news, has commenced the 4th edition of Capacity Building Workshop for fact-checkers across board. The workshop is part of reorientation and public enlightenment mandates of the agency.
The spread of fake news, misinformation and other forms of unguided statements, especially on the social media platforms, are of global concern. Globally, in Nigeria, the impact on the socio-economic development is huge.
The ecosystem of fake news is pervasive. It's there in the education sector, it's there in the security sector, it is in every facet of our life.
NOS drive to build detectors is therefore very, very commendable.
In Nigeria, the impact on the socio-economic development is huge. Mindful of this fact, the National Orientation Agency developed a 5-year strategic work plan, including training of 37,000 vanguards of fact-checkers across the nation in addressing the ills.
Incidences of fake news, misinformation, disinformation, whether inadvertently shared or deliberately shared, meaning intentionally, have a way of impacting on national cohesion.
As electioneering campaign draws nearer, there are beliefs that the surge of misinformation on the social media and other platforms could be on the increase. As such, capacity building of personnel in the information gatekeeping process becomes imperative.
We're working together as a unit, as fact checkers, we can then oppress the negativity of the development indices and bring up what is fundamentally important.
Participants are drawn from different fields of endeavors.
Give women opportunity to contribute in conflict resolution and peace building, and you will be amazed at the impacts globally. Now, this sums up the submission of diverse speakers at the UN and Ministry of Women Affairs Peace and Security meetings, which held in Abuja. Momso Demian Datti reports.
One of the reasons for the lack of sustainable peace and development in Nigeria and many other countries, according to UN report, is the inability of the system to harness and leverage the inherent potentials of women in contributing their quota to lasting peace-building processes.
Financing.
Addressing these challenges is the reason for this high-level stakeholders meeting at the instance of the Ministry of Women Affairs and the United Nations.
Percentage of representation of women in the security sector has come as low as less than 6%. Recruitment process, stages requirement, which I don't expect them to compromise, but they need to give women some chances to demonstrate their capability. So the power of influence of the average woman is enormous. In peace and security, engage them in the consultation.
One of the main challenges that we have to address going forward is how these plans can be funded and how to also expand ownership of this plan. The Ministry of Women's Affairs has done a phenomenal job in really coordinating implementation of the plan. So it is up to all of the other government institutions and ministries to take ownership of this plan.
We have also about 8 The Women Peace Security Agenda is to integrate gender perspective into peace and security endeavors. Damien Dati, NTA News.
If Nigeria is to attain the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030 and manage its population growth effectively, equitable distribution of resources to vulnerable groups should be strengthened to align with Goal 1, which is poverty reduction. Elizabeth Omori reports that this was the focus at a lecture on Sustainable Welfare Solution Initiative for Population Management.
Statistics by the National Population Commission show that Nigeria has a rapid growing population driven by high total fertility rates, currently at 5.3% averagely, with young people representing over 2/3 of the total population. The Commission says the launch of the revised national policy on population will see Nigeria transit from demographically high births to low rates with improved maternal and child health care services.
Population management must be initiated by a significant fertility decline, driven by expansion or expanded access to information, counseling, and services that promote family planning and bed spacing.
In terms of the population policy, to control the growth rates, I am in support.
Other players in population management are of the opinion that population growth requires multifaceted approach.
Partnership and collaboration of a wide range of actors is key to achieving Nigeria's population and development goals.
Adoption of policies that are people-centered and gender-responsive, they believe, will reduce youth restiveness and child marriages. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Connected Development, an NGO tracking the status of COVID-19 donations and its use in 10 African countries, has rated Nigeria highest in terms of transparency and accountability. This came from the Chief Executive, Connected Development, Hamzat Lawal, at a meeting with the leadership of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency in Abuja. Olusheye Adiagbo has the details.
Donations both in cash and medical consumables have been coming to African countries, Nigeria inclusive, since the emergence of COVID-19. The management of these interventions and tracking them to as far as to the grassroots is the recent commitment of Connected Development Code, a group with a mission of empowering marginalized communities in Africa. The initiative, tagged Follow the Money, creates platforms for citizens of African countries to get informed while building their capacity on how to hold governments accountable. Future commitment was secured with a signing of Memorandum of Understanding between the two parties.
Today, Connected Development and Budget have now scaled into 10 African countries, adding Senegal and Zimbabwe. It's important that I stress and note that out of all the countries, Nigeria is still leading, because today we're about to sign a partnership that shows open government partnership.
These types of collaborations are what engenders trust
between those who govern and those who are governed. For us at NPHCDA, all through the pandemic and all of the great work that has been done around COVID-19 vaccination, around the white polio virus eradication, we've always maintained transparency and openness in our business.
The partnership also aims at strategizing, such as scaling up of Nigeria's vaccination exercise, as well as engaging continued engagement between civil society groups and government agencies for better service delivery. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
Our Kaduna Network Center is next, and Salamatu will be guiding us on the next set of stories. Good evening, Salamatu.
Good evening, Ayo Deji, and a warm welcome to Kaduna. Federal government is supporting the establishment of 200 milk collection centers in Kano State as part of its policy to stop importation of milk and dairy products, which will save the country $1.5 billion annually. Abdullahi Mustafa reports that the program is also designed to enhance the livelihood of pastoralists.
2019, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture funded the establishment of first milk collection center in Kano State. Situated in Dawakin Kudu local government area, the center is fully equipped with storage, cooling and processing facilities. This facilitated the settlement of dozens of pastoral families who form the Kano Dairy Cooperative Union. The positive outcome of this initiative informed the decision of Kano State government through its agro-pastoral development project to establish 200 additional centers at various locations. To ensure successful takeoff, a stakeholders meeting was convened to sensitize them and solicit their support and cooperation.
We want a plot that is owned by cooperative societies or communities so that the milk collection centers will be sustainable.
It is expected that the initiative will complement the federal government's move to end milk and dairy products importation.
And with the federal government proposed policy of banning importation of milk, it means that we at the state level we have to prepare for that.
It is disclosed that the proposed ban will save Nigeria about $1.5 billion being spent annually on the importation of dairy products. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
Concerned citizens in Kaduna have staged a thank you road walk to appreciate the good work of Governor Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai for changing the face of Kaduna Metropoli, Zaria and Kafanchan. The 10-kilometer road walk tagged "Let Our Feet Do the Talking" was attended by more than 300 people. Haruna Mohammed has the details.
Urban Renewal Program, an idea conceived by Kaduna State Government to provide needed infrastructure for social and economic needs of the people of the state. It is no longer news that such needed infrastructure are in place and people have been enjoying them, which prompted a 10-kilometer walk organized to thank the government. These people are from 23 local government areas of Kaduna State, gathered in solidarity with Government of Kaduna State for execution of projects under the Urban Renewal Program. They marched through major streets in Kaduna Metropolis, chanting various songs in appreciation to Governor Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai's determination to develop the state. They described infrastructure provided as key to economic and social development of Kaduna State.
Our feet can do the talking. To say thank you, we really lack words with which to appreciate his performance.
Quite encouraging that people will come out and show appreciation for good governance as the case is. We hope to see more of this. We're hoping that others will also emulate.
The road walk terminates at Government House Kaduna, where the people were received by the Special Advisor to Governor Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai on media, Muyiwa Adeke.
Malam Nasir El-Rufai is a man of the people and right till the end. The interests of the people of Kaduna State will continue to be the major priority of this government.
We decided to walk 10 kilometers from Barnawa to Government House and present a gift for him to thank him for the well-done job.
Those who participated in the exercise presented various awards to the governor as mark of appreciation. Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
That completes our news package from here. Meanwhile, Zenret in our Just Network Center is standing by with more stories from that end. But after this timeout, stay tuned.
157-kilometer Lagos-Ibadan Railway is the first double-track standard gauge railway to be built in West Africa. The Mobolaji Johnson train station is a masterpiece, an infrastructure that is gradually becoming an iconic building in Lagos State. The modern facilities put the station on a world map of train stations. Likewise, other new train stations across the country built to world-class standards. The train and its convenience is indeed an admirable effort, with commendations from Nigerians.
This is a station that we have to commend the federal government for putting a beautiful face, empowering us in Lagos State, not only in economic and political arena.
I can say that I'm really impressed with the infrastructures in place. Kudos to the Minister of Transportations. Kudos to the federal government.
Truly, good things are coming out of Nigeria, and the federal government is deserving of all the applause.
Proficiency courses to sharpen your professional skills. Computer appreciation for media practitioners. Date 21st February to 28th February 2022. 1 week. English grammar and pronunciation for broadcasters. Date 1st March to 25th March. 4 weeks. Administrative principles, processes and practices. Date 11th March to 31st March 2022. 4 weeks. Modern trends in broadcast media marketing. Date 14th March to 13th April 2022. 4 weeks. Basic broadcast accounting and auditing. Date 4th April to 19th April 2022. 2 weeks. The course fee for the 1 week course is 100,000 naira per participant. The fee for the 2 week course is 150,000 naira, while the course fee for the 4 week course is 180,000 naira only. Accommodation inclusive. The venue for all courses is the serene and secure environment of NTA TV College, near Old Government House, Rayfield, Jos. For more inquiries, please call 0803-314-4383 or 0806-980-9807. NTA TV College, training you to be the best you want to be.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk, app for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Thanks for staying with us on Nationwide and welcome to JOS. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency is urging students to focus more on their education rather than indulging in drug abuse that will affect their well-being. This was at a sensitization in Mangu local government area of Plateau State. Indenyang and Debagang reports.
The sensitization attracted students from government and private schools in Mangu local government area of the state.
I should stay out of drug because it kills quickly. From my studies, I will not concentrate or workplace, which leads to destruction of the society.
What I so much learned in this program is about the solutions to avoiding yourself in drug abuse.
For National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the advocacy has become necessary in view of the rampant cases of drug abuse among students and youths considered to be leaders of tomorrow. It says drug abuse has negative effects on their health and the country's image, calling on stakeholders to join the crusade and make Nigeria a drug-free nation.
It will be very difficult for you to separate drug from criminal activities, and the reason why we are going from school to school, from community to community, to sensitize people about the danger inherent in drug abuse, and to equally talk to our traditional ruler, our religious leader, to do their best for us by sensitizing their immediate community.
Goodwill messages were delivered by stakeholders, urging parents to monitor activities of their wards. in Jos, Indenyan and Yabajang, NTA News.
As part of efforts to boost the morale of officers and men of the Nigerian Army, the Chief of Army Staff has inaugurated a block of 3-bedroom apartments and renovated 30 flats for officers of the 3-division Maxwell Kobe Cantonment, Rukuba, Plateau State. Grace Akwegotip has details.
Congratulations.
Shelter is one of the basic human needs, and it is on this premise that the Chief of Army Staff thought it wise to provide shelter to the troops as part of welfare packages that will boost their morale and enable them face the tasks ahead. The Chief of Army Staff representative says it is part of the policy of his office to make the Army personnel comfortable so that they can perform optimally.
Most of our soldiers are involved in various operations outside their homes, and their families are here. So when a soldier knows that the family is in a very good condition, he will be encouraged to actually put in his best in those places where he's involved.
The General Officer Commanding 3D of the Nigerian Army expressed gratitude to the Chief of Army Staff for his visionary leadership, saying the gesture will in return make the personnel give their best, especially in the fight against insurgency.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, knows the importance of the welfare of troops. That's why he has taken it upon himself to make sure their accommodation, their living quarters are improved upon.
A 3-bedroom RSM apartment and street lights were inaugurated, while a 30 corporal and below family quarters was renovated. From the Maxwell Kobe Cantonment, Grace Akwegotip, NTA News.
That's it from Jos. It's back to Ayo in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thanks, Zenret, in our Jos Network Center. Remember, you can follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on our YouTube channel, NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page, NTA Network News, Twitter at NTA News Now, and Instagram, NTA Network, for updates of the news. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Benue State, says it will not relent in its efforts in protecting national assets and curbing activities of criminals in the state and the country at large. The commandant of the Corps, Philip Oko, stated this at the command's headquarters in Makudi while parading suspects allegedly involved in vandalizing national assets and other criminal activities. The reports.
The suspects paraded are Hidejime Onduwasi Sebastian, Aga Abraham Toyem, and Aja Samson Emeka are said to have abducted a bus conveying 18 passengers on the 12th of December 2021. The said 18-seater bus took off from Enugu State and was abducted near Federal University Wukari in Taraba State and was taken to Zakibiam in Ukum local government area of Benue State, where the suspect collected ransom of 550,000 naira using bank account details belonging to an agent of.
The time that he called me, I don't do me. Now he sent me to, if I know person where he go fit calling money for it.
So I took him to America, and I don't know say na job na him do.
He came and used me. I'm suffering. And you are here happy. This is what you have done to me. You have shattered my life.
Other suspects are vandals of railway tracks who were arrested in Howe, Gwe East local government area of the state. Also, Adamu Bafa, Abubakar Usman, and Usman Abba were arrested in Vandika local government area of the state for diversion of 33,000 liters of adulterated petroleum products. Commandant NSCDC Benue State, Philip Oko, says the Corps will continue to beam its light on criminals and their activities to ensure that public utilities and members of the public are protected.
Every community should know they have the mandate to protect it. They should stop compromising the goods.
The suspects are to be charged to court for prosecution. In Makudi, Sandra Doisi Akeme, NTA News.
And that's Nationwide. We thank you for watching. I'm Ayo Deji. Makinde, please remember to connect with the NTA and stand against rape and rapists. On behalf of the entire production crew, good evening.